Okay, so now we know a little bit about slope and y-intercept. We can use that to just intuitively look at what this means on a graph. In this particular case, we've got a blue line, and we want to graph a line that has a positive slope that is greater than the slope of the blue line. Now, as previously mentioned in a previous video, we've actually got our slope is the change in y over the change in x. Okay, so the change in y over the change in x is the difference. If we take 2 points on the line, the vertical difference over the horizontal difference. Okay, in this particular case, we have a vertical change of 5 and a horizontal change of 3. So that means our slope is 5 over 3. So in plotting a line that is positive and greater than 5 over 3, let's just choose 6 over 3. We can actually start this line anywhere we want, but best practices in future would probably be to start your line on the y-axis, just so that you're starting with your y-intercept. In this case, we actually see the tool at work where we see the equation of the line. And in this particular case, we take a look at the 2 points we're looking for, and reading from left to right, we can calculate our slope again from just using those 2 points. We don't need a line to do it. We notice the change in y is 2 and the change in x is 1. So our slope, which again, remember, is the change in y, the vertical change over the horizontal change, is 2 over 1. So our slope is 2. Now our y-intercept, notice, our y-intercept, we can actually calculate, again, without using the line, just by counting 2 up and 1 across, 2 up and 1 across again. As soon as we hit the y-axis, that is our y-intercept, and that is 4. So we can use the tool to move that line, our y-intercept, move it up 4 spaces, and there we have it. So again, similar problem to the first one. We've got a slope that is positive and greater than the slope of the blue line is what we're looking for. This blue line here, we notice if we pick 2 points, is 4 over 2 is the slope. Okay, so the change in y over change in x is the vertical change over the horizontal change is 4 over 2, which of course is simplified to 2, or 2 over 1, which means we go 2 up and 1 across. Okay, so if we have a slope of 2, and we want a greater slope that is also positive, let's just choose 3, which is a slope of 3 over 1. Again, we can start it wherever we want. It's probably not a good idea to start on 3. Let's start somewhere else. And we just move 3 up and 1 across, and there's a greater slope. You can see it's steeper than the other one. You can see there 3 over 1. So it is indeed a steeper slope than the blue line. You can see that quite clearly. Again, back to the graphic here, and this actually deals with a negative slope, which is a little bit more interesting. So again, we want to calculate, first of all, the slope of this line, the vertical change over the horizontal change. So your vertical change there is -6. It's going, reading from left to right, it's going down 6 and across 2, which is -6 over 2. We can simplify that, of course, to -3 over 1, or just simply -3. That'll work for us, and we can use our tool to, and you can already see it's taking shape. But we're going to need to move this line up. You'll notice now that if you reverse those two, if you take, instead of taking -3 over 1, let's take 3 over -1. So we would actually go back 1 and up 3, and of course now we can write it as down 3 and across 1 and -3 over 1. We find our y-intercept. Okay, so that is that will help us move our line upwards until it intercepts the y-axis at 9. And finally, just to clarify, a positive slope goes upwards and negative slope goes downwards.